Well, thank you so much for giving me your time to have a quick chat. Obviously, you're coming down here again to Australia next year, which is really exciting.
Yeah, looking forward to it. I love Australia so much. I've been back quite often recently.
Yeah, so most recently you did obviously the anniversary concert tour of Les Mis, which was just spectacular. I know audiences here were just like dying to see like obviously you and Michael Ball in the role as well as like the rest of the amazing cast. So how was that tour, like touring that down here in Australia?
It was extraordinary. It really was. The first thing, of course, performing such a great piece of music around on the other side of the world. I've performed it in New York and in London, but to bring it down to Australia was phenomenal. And none of us, myself included, and Michael, we didn't know what reaction it would get in Australia. So from the first night to the final night in Brisbane, um, we were shocked, surprised, blown away by how wild the Australian audiences are.
Yeah.
It was incredible the response that we got.
So
Amazing.
good. That's so good. And obviously, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong here, but you first debuted Jean Valjean in way back in 2010.
Yeah, yeah, that
That's
was it
amazing.
for the 25th anniversary. I did a short run prior to that show in the West End because I wanted to. I didn't feel legitimate enough doing the 25th anniversary concert if I hadn't played the role in the West End. So I asked Cameron McIntosh if he would let me step into the role in the West End and do it there. So I learnt the whole role in 10 days, and then before my first performance in the West End, and then moved on to do the 25th anniversary, came back to do it again in the West End, then to Broadway, and then the concert version. It's been quite a ride.
Yeah, I bet. I'd love to know, because obviously you would have done so many performances. Do you find anything new, about, Jean Valjean or playing the role after such a long time?
Yeah, every time I've readdressed and reconnected with the character and the role of Jean Valjean, I've been at a different stage in my life. So I've gone through being a young guy in my 30s, uh, performing it initially. Um, New father to my daughter at the time, and my son was just about to be born, and then going through other stages of my life, it's affected the way I've addressed the role, the way I perform the role. It's something that stays with you um, all the time, and it stays with you, on and off stage. You when you are playing this character, he's like just over your shoulder. He's right within you. It's so cool.
That's amazing. Yeah, I can't even begin to imagine. But yeah, you kind of growing with the character, which is quite
You
incredible.
you you do, and when I look back recently at earlier footage of me performing the role to to the way I'm doing it now, and apart from the many different hairstyles, I can see, especially this one,
Yeah.
I can see that the change that I've gone through over the years, as a performer and a singer playing this role.
Yeah. And you've got a new album coming out next year called Facing Myself, which is coming in 2026 in Australia.
Yeah.
I'd love to know what was the inspiration behind this new album?
The inspiration behind the actual name, Facing Myself, it was something I wanted to try and connect personally with who I am as an artist, who I am as a performer, who I am as a real person, as Alfie
Mm.
Boe, the real guy. All the good, all the bad, everything that's gone on in my life, what's made me who I am today, what I've got to learn, how I can develop and move forward as a human being, all that sort of stuff. So there's original songs on there telling of my story and telling people of how I'm feeling, my emotions. There's cover songs on there that I've connected with over the years that I've wanted to sing that touch my heart. And so that's the idea behind the album. The reflection of that in the stage performance, in the concert tour, is something quite similar. I want the audience to be able to connect with, firstly, myself as an artist, as Alfie Boe, the guy from the north of England. I want them to see the real me. But I also want the music that I perform to influence their thoughts on themselves, on everyone as an individual, on how they've developed in life, how they've grown, and the memories that they have. So I want every audience member to try and experience that too, and I'll try and explain that in the show. I want them to connect with the performance. There's no glitz or glamour about the show. It's pretty much broken down. There's no sparkly backcloth. There's no flashy lights. It's raw, it's rich, and it's earthy, and it's real. And I'm going to leave the house lights up so we can see each other's faces. And I want people to fire questions at me and to feel like they're part of the show and to just have a real fun, unique experience.
Amazing. So it's sort of that each show is kind of unique, really, because you're going to have different audiences asking different questions and different reactions.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it's opening myself up for everything, really. I don't know what people will ask, but yeah, I'm hopefully answer honestly and truthfully. So clearly.
Amazing. Well, I don't know. This is a bit like off tangent, I suppose. I don't know if you know, in Australia, there's this habit. I doubt it'll happen in, like, if you're performing at the Sydney Opera House, but there's this habit that a lot of Australians do in concerts where they ask the performers to do a shoey. So I'm not going to ask you to do a shoey, obviously, but
It's
would
really
you like? Yeah, it's not fun. Trust me, don't do it. But
okay.
what
Yeah.
if your reaction, if somebody did shout that out, I'm just going to tell you not to do it.
Okay, I won't do
Yeah.
it. I'm
Yeah.
unsure of unsure of what a shoey is, so I'm not. I don't know whether I want to ask.
No, no, no. Just be like, next question, please.
Okay.
Amazing. Well, so bringing it back to Earth. I'd love to know with Les Mis. It's been going on for many, many years. People have Valjean as their dream role. So I guess I wanted to ask two questions connected to that. The first being, you were speaking about what you've learned and what you've gone through in this new album is obviously you in all your facets. What sort of advice would you give to the next person that wants to be, Jean Valjean, that wants that dream role?
Yeah. I'm always I always advocate for young performers to find who they are initially as a performer, who they are as an artist, discover their voice, discover themselves as a performer, as an entertainer, not to copy myself, not to emulate what I did as Jean Valjean, to make it their own, to make that role their own, because that's the reason Les Misérables has been running for 40 years, is because the people that have played the characters have all been different, have all made it their own. From
Mm,
Colm Wilkinson, the original Valjean was unique. He did it his own way. All the Valjeans from then on have made it their own. Hugh Jackman in the movie made it his own. Myself,
mm,
the 25th anniversary made it my own, and yeah, and it's developed for me. I've been doing it for a very long time now, so that's the advice I would give any young artist stepping up to the challenge to do this role, is to first of all understand the story, the journey, and the emotion of Jean Valjean in detail, and
yeah.
just means reading the text before you put any music to it, reading what the lyrics, reading what Herb Kretzmer wrote in the musical, understanding what you're saying, believing what you're saying, embodying it, and then the character will be your best friend for life. If you just go in there with the intention of singing the piece technically, then you'll fall on your face. You have to sing it emotionally. And that's understanding the lyrics, understanding the words. And so that, and then, yeah, I would say make it your own. Don't copy, make it your own. Discover your own way of doing this role. And that's the best way, really.
Amazing. Well, you sort of answered my next question in yours. I wanted to know what do you think the secret ingredient is for the longevity of Les Misérables?
Yeah, again, I think it is. It's affected me in so many different ways through different stages of my life. So I have approached the character lots of different journeys that I've been on in my personal life, and it's lent itself to helping me get through difficult times, good times and bad times in a way. But I think having respect for the character, respect for the music, respect for the story, and having an element of humility about it, that's what will keep you in doing it for a long time, is knowing that you're not bigger than the character, you're not bigger than the role or the music or the show or the story of Les Misérables. You're an instrument to that story. You know, you're there to do a job. You have a duty to the public to portray the music and the story to the best of your ability.
Yeah.
And so, you know, it's having that humility about it. It's having your feet on the ground when you're playing the role, and not to think too much of yourself that you're the only one that's ever going to be able to do this properly. You're not, because there's always somebody behind you who's going to bring a different element to it and make it phenomenal again. You know, and you know, it's just being grateful for having that chance of portraying a character and being part of a piece of history.
Yeah, for sure. It's so well put. Yeah, it's just incredible to hear you like talk about something that's just obviously like, I mean, I've watched you so many times in the concert version, like sing the role, and to hear you talk about it so passionately is beautiful.
Thank you so much.
The last thing I wanted to do, I've been, because obviously I do like a lot of media stuff. I'm very much like in the social media sphere. And there's this guy on TikTok who's sort of gone off because he's been fast forwarding Hugh Jackman's like singing of like Bring Him Home, and it just sounds like very different. So I'd love to see what would Valjean from you sound like if someone asked you to be an Australian Jean Valjean? What would that sound like?
An Australian Jean Valjean. Oh my goodness, I don't know really where to start with that. I think, God, I mean, there are some incredible artists and performers in Australia that can sing this role of Jean Valjean. I don't quite understand the question. Sorry, could you explain?
No, that's
what
okay.
you mean by being
I was
an
going to see if you
Australian
could
Jean
do
Valjean?
like an impression of an Australian Jean Valjean if you decided to
Oh, an
play him as an
impression.
Aussie for one night.
All right, all right. God, my impression, my Australian accent isn't great, but it will. God, I don't know. Let me. You can take, you can give. Let him be, let him live. That's gone into Cockney, for crying out loud, for some reason.
That's
I don't know.
okay.
No. Bring him
Thank you
home.
so much.
Bring him home.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. Have a bit of fun.
I sound more like Michael Caine, I think, there. That was a bit
Oh
dodgy,
my
that
God, it was a
one.
little bit Michael Caine. Bring him home. Bring him home.
Bring him home. Bring him home.
Awesome. Well, thank you so
Thank you,
much,
guys.
Alfie. Thank you
Thank you
so much
so
for
much,
your
Justin.
time.
All the best to you. Take care. Bye bye.
Cheers, you too.